Hello and welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Tonight's headlines in the southeast. Deliveries delayed as postal workers in Brighton take to the picket line to get their voices heard. Meanwhile, bus and rail passengers prepare for yet more disruption.
Getting ready for your child to go to university? Well, get yourself ready too. Why this can be a really tough time for parents and students alike.
And find out which of our fantastic fundraiser finalists the judges chose to represent the South East at the National Pride of Britain Awards.
Good evening. Postal staff across the South East have taken to picket lines in protest over pay and working conditions as part of a 48-hour strike, and it's having a huge impact on many companies.
One candle maker says the strike action, with another 19 days planned, will cause problems with Christmas orders. Michelle Tuckwell says independent traders are already struggling, and this is yet another blow. With more, here's James Dunham.
Sounding support for strikers in Brighton. This picket line of postal workers principled in what's become a fight for their financial survival.
We can barely pay our bills, we're really struggling.
Jacob's worked for Royal Mail for 15 years.
They're refusing to give us a pay rise that even gets close to what inflation is, and they've given us no other option but to go on strike.
It's a squeeze.
Toby's been with the company 4 years.
It's a fact, this is not my opinion. Hundreds of millions of pounds of profits were given to shareholders instead of any reinvestment visibly into the business. I work in a building where there's a toilet that hasn't flushed since I started.
When you lose a day's pay, it's never easy. We've set up a food bank operating out of this office. I've had members tell me that they're on the brink of homelessness, members moving back in with parents, having to leave their rented accommodation because they just can't afford the rent any longer.
The signs are up, the doors are shut. This collection office in central Brighton is closed today, with Royal Mail workers planning another 19 days of strike action over the coming 2 months. They say it's the only way their voices will be heard. In this dispute, a 2% pay increase has been imposed on staff by Royal Mail. The Communication Workers Union say this does not reflect the spiralling costs of living, with concerns too about changes to working hours and sick pay. Royal Mail argue the business needs to modernise, with fewer people sending letters.
Royal Mail, the same as any other FTSE company, and last year we had a good year. There's bonuses paid. That's no different in Royal Mail to any other business. To be very, very clear, we want to make a decent pay offer to our employees. But to do that, we need to secure the changes in our network that set us up to succeed in the parcels market that is growing. Today, we're losing £1 million a day.
Candle maker Michelle Tuckwell is losing money at her business too. She sympathises with strikers, but the action does mean her deliveries are heavily disrupted.
It's detrimental to my business. It's coming at the busiest time of year. I don't have any natural footfall, so 90% of my business is online, so I'm totally dependent on Royal Mail to get my orders to my customers.
With financial worries already stacking up for many independent businesses, Michelle believes the postal strikes could make it difficult for some to stay open.
Well, it's not only postal workers on strike. Travellers could also face a difficult time too this weekend, with rail and bus workers also taking action. James Dunham is in Burgess Hill looking at the situation there.
With workers from 3 unions, the RMT, ASLEF and TSSA, all striking, this will be the biggest rail walkout in decades. Here from Burgess Hill, there will be replacement buses. Engineering work was already planned, but between Brighton and Three Bridges, those services will continue with limited trains to and from London. Other than that, it's pretty much total shutdown across Southern, Thameslink, South Eastern and the Gatwick Express. The dispute between the unions, governments, rail companies and Network Rail is about pay and conditions, and the disruption this weekend will be huge.
Saturday's strike action is going to be the most disruptive yet, because it's the first time that we've had multiple unions walk out on the same day. So in some places we're going to have no trains at all, and everywhere else there's going to be a limited service, roughly around 10% of the services that would usually run. So my advice to passengers is only travel if absolutely necessary, and if you have no choice but to travel, just remember to check those last trains home, because they're finishing much earlier than usual. Some are as early as 5 p.m.
There's also been disruption today for Arriva buses in Kent as drivers have been walking out for 24 hours. There's another strike planned by them next Thursday and Friday, and back on the trains, train drivers will be striking again next Wednesday. So a lot's happening in terms of strike action, passengers who use trains and buses hoping for some resolution. I don't think that's likely anytime soon.
James Dunham reporting there. A mother has died after giving birth at a hospital in East Kent. The death is one of 25 serious incidents recorded by the East Kent Hospitals Trust in the first 6 months of this year. 9 of them happened at William Harvey in Ashford. The Trust has apologised to families affected and says it will learn lessons. The new Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, is back in London after meeting her French counterpart in Paris to discuss the migrant crisis. The government says it's determined to end the illegal crossings. But the shorter days and uncertain weather have not stopped the small boats arriving. Yesterday, another 10 boats managed to reach Kent, carrying 499 people. The total for the year crossing in small boats is now more than 32,000. This is an exciting time of the year for many young people as they start university courses, often leaving home for the first time. But it also means big adjustments for parents as well. Yes, many say they feel extreme grief when they drop their children off at university for the first time. And others say the empty nest has an impact on other relationships within the family at home, as Kevin Ashford explains.
The Kelly family from East Farley near Maidstone in Kent is going through some changes. Daughter Lydia is off to university, the last of the children to leave home.
You give all your emotion and top priority to your kids, and I think when the house is empty and very quiet, I think it could be really quite sad. But I'm not sure how we'll feel. I think there could also be some good sides to it, but it's the unknown at the moment.
They're not used to having no one in the house. We've taken up their lives for 25 years. All of us have done a lot of hobbies. The past couple of years, my dancing has been immense. I'm doing competitions all the time. So it has meant that we've taken up a lot of the time. So it's finding the other things that are going to make them busy now.
Research suggests that when youngsters go on to further education and leave an empty nest at home, it can be a difficult time for many parents. In one survey, 98% of those questioned said they felt a sense of grief when they dropped a child off at university for the first time. They were also worried about the situation at home afterwards, with 17% admitting being concerned about the stability of their marriage or other relationship once their kids have left. It wasn't all negative though. 24% of parents said they felt excited about the new experiences their child would have.
Hello, Family Lives.
This charity offers support for parents through its helpline. They see a rise of calls at this time of year.
We always say it's a good time to rediscover who you are, what your role is outside of being a parent. So if there are any interests that you've had that you've put on the back burner, maybe think about taking those up again.
So when getting your child ready for university, the advice is to get yourself ready too. Kevin Ashford, ITV News.
More of the day's news now, and a campaigner says she's hoping to prevent Manston Airport from reopening. Jenny Dawes, who lives in Ramsgate near the airport, has launched a judicial review against the development of a cargo hub there. She argues it would have a detrimental effect on the lives of people living in Thanet. Only last month, those supporting the reopening were celebrating the decision to bring back flights. Others, though, are supporting Jenny Dawes' campaign.
It's never been a success. The airport closed in 2014. Every independent expert opinion says it has no chance of success. We believe those expert opinions. It won't work. It would be extremely detrimental to the area. It shouldn't go ahead.
Kent's outgoing police chief constable says he's proud to leave the force as one of the best performing in the country. Alan Pewsley formally steps down this Sunday to take up a national policing role after 9 years in charge and nearly 39 as a serving officer.
It was a really good force when I took it over. It's one of the reasons I came here. But I think if you look across everything we've delivered, individually, brilliant officers, brilliant staff, brilliant volunteers, bring them together collectively. I think we've got one of the best police forces, if not the best in the land. So that has to be, I think, my biggest and proudest achievement.
And you're watching ITV News here in the Meridian region. Coming up,
Paula Radcliffe in Brighton ahead of this weekend's London Marathon, encouraging us all to exercise more.
I need some help with that. And you can find more on today's top stories in the region throughout the day on our website. Just head to itv.com/Meridian. You can call us, the number 0808 1010 095. And remember, you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and on Instagram.
The ITV Evening News continues after us this evening, of course. With the details this evening, here's Charlene White.
Coming up, a father demands for Facebook to do something about the depressing online content that contributed to his daughter's death. 14-year-old Molly Russell fatally self-harmed after seeing social media posts which were condemned by a coroner. We'll hear the calls for much-needed change. Also ahead, more than 20 are killed in the latest Russian attack as Vladimir Putin annexes 4 areas of Ukraine. And the Royal Mint unveils the first coin featuring the new king. But why isn't he wearing a crown? Find out at 6:30. We'll see you then.
First, the sport with Andrew. And Andrew, it is a big weekend for our runners.
Absolutely. All the training's done. Now, thousands will be heading to the capital to take part in the London Marathon. One is ITV reality star Mark Wright, who's been getting training tips from former world champion Paula Radcliffe in Brighton.
Zero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Paula Radcliffe set a marathon world record which stood for 16 years. She's been coaching reality star Mark Wright. He was briefly a Crawley Town player, but is getting help ahead of the marathon as part of the Get Towns Active run-along, encouraging all of us to exercise more.
It just makes you feel so much better. There are the obvious health benefits, the physical health benefits. There are also the psychological, the mental health side of it. Being able to get more out of yourself, learning your strengths and weaknesses, working better as a team.
Paula was back in Brighton, having started the marathon there in 2014, an event which has grown year on year. Despite that, the city was named the least active place in the country in a recent survey.
It surprises me because the weather's always good compared to most places in England. You're by the beach and people should go for walks. I don't know, maybe they're just sunbathing and eating fish and chips too much.
Blind veteran Andy Leach is also taking on the marathon, less than a month after he completed the London to Brighton cycle ride on a tandem with his son. All in aid of the Brighton-based charity Blind Veterans UK.
It's not just about fundraising, it's about making people aware that there are people out there to help those like me in my situation.
Katie Thomas is running 4 years to the day she lost her dad. So for him, she's raising money for Alzheimer's Research UK.
So many symptoms that go with it, and it just sort of diminishes that person, and it's just an awful thing to watch. So I'm really passionate about funding research to stop this.
Great causes, huge effort on Sunday. Also this weekend, all our football teams are back in action after the international break. In League Two, Gillingham and Crawley are hoping home ties tomorrow will help them move away from the relegation places. Well, in the Premier League, it's the first match for Brighton's new manager, Roberto De Zerbi, and it's a tough one away to Liverpool. Finally, Chris Eubank Jr. says he'll retire if he loses to Conor Benn next weekend. The Brighton boxer takes on the son of Nigel Benn, almost 30 years after their dad's famous rematch. Talking on ITV's Good Morning Britain, Eubank Jr. says he'll have no choice but to stop fighting if he doesn't win.
Losing to a Conor Benn at this stage in my career, it means that I'm not the fighter that I thought I was or that I think I am. I want to challenge for world titles within the next 6 to 12 months. I can't do that with a loss to Conor Benn. And there's a lot of pressure on me to not only win, but to uphold the name. The Eubank name is in front of the Benn name in the history books.
Chris Eubank Jr., he means business.
So much pressure on him though, isn't it? Gosh, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
I can't believe their fight was 30 years ago, so let's move on. Now, it's almost time to reveal who is ITV Meridian's Pride of Britain fundraiser of the year. We had so many entries and we whittled them down to our 4 finalists.
Yes, Betty Brooks from Rye, Tim Bell from the Isle of Sheppey, Chantal Rashbrook from Deal and Gary Curtin from Ashford.
It was an almost impossible decision to make, so Sangeeta and I roped in gymnast Courtney Tulloch, triple gold medalist no less, from Maidstone to help us.
Courtney Tulloch, thank you so much for joining us today. So you've just won 2 gold medals at the Commonwealth Games and 1 at the European Championship. So thank you so much. But first of all, congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. It's amazing to be here.
Yes, you think winning gold medals is difficult. You wait till you watch these. This is a really tough shortlist. Shall we get started?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Here we go. Let's watch the first one.
It's estimated Betty's raised more than £200,000, which averages out at £3,500 each year. With her 91st birthday approaching, she's taking a step back from fundraising, knowing she's done the RNLI proud.
Very strong one. I think her reasoning, her why, something sort of I look at, and like I said in the video, her grandparents, her uncle and her late husband, all part of that, and feel like she's just so humble and real.
Very strong. OK, finalist number 2 then.
At the age of 77, Tim Bell embodies some very British traditions. He's an eccentric, he's an inventor, and he raises thousands of pounds for good causes, appearing all around the southeast in his mobility scooter, transformed into the Kent, Surrey and Sussex Air Ambulance.
Tim Bell there. The man is pure joy. Is he not pure joy?
Yeah, proper feel-good character, lift spirit, someone I'd love to meet one day. You get the sense everyone in the community just loves being around him, loves speaking to him, and like see some of those dance moves, I'm sure makes you feel like you just want to get up and dance with him, but an amazing character.
Right, 2 down, 2 to go.
At the start of the 5-mile Cliff Top Challenge from St Margaret's at Cliff near Dover, one of 6 routes for a charity run set up by Chantal Rashbrook that has already raised £180,000 for breast cancer research and care.
I mean, another great entry really, but what strikes you about Chantal is the fact that she's doing all that on top of what she's going through on a personal level as well, I think.
To still have the energy, the drive, the commitment to help others, set up support groups, raise money to breast cancer now is truly inspiring. An amazing person.
When the going gets tough, Gary Curtin gets going. Come rain or shine, he's been a fervent fundraiser of more than £300,000 over the last 30 years. But his passion for fundraising stepped up after a near-death experience.
Something that stuck with me, he said supporting others is in his blood now. I feel like you don't hear that often. Not many people like that. Said he had a near-death experience, and then that just changed him and it gave him a new lease of life to raise money and help causes. Good, really good story. Not many people like him in the world, so an amazing guy, Gary.
It is hard. Now, as head judge, Courtney, we're pleased to say we're going to defer to you.
Yeah.
What do you think? Have you got somebody in mind without telling us who it is?
I think I'm going to go with this person just because what they're going through, but they're still managing to just keep doing amazing things, and that's truly inspiring. So I know my winner.
Oh, such amazing people there, and a few clues from Courtney. And as you can see, Sangeeta's not in the studio tonight, so let's find out where she is and what she's been up to.
Our winner is in there. They're about to have lunch with their family and they haven't got a clue about what's going on. I wonder what I've got under here. Come with me. Chantal Rashbrook, did you order something?
No.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I've got something that you might quite like. Oh, you don't know what's under there yet. Chantal, many congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You are ITV Meridian's Pride of Britain fundraiser of the year. There you go, darling.
That was my lunch. Oh, thank you so much.
Lunch is coming. Many
Oh,
congratulations.
thank you. Oh, that was a shock. I would have got changed.
You look lovely. What is going through your mind right now?
Oh, I don't know. Just quite emotional, actually. It's lovely. Thank you. I didn't expect to win. It was lovely just being nominated. So, yeah. I don't know, I'm lost for words, which is unlike me. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
You've raised thousands of pounds for charity. Yeah. You've made a difference to so many women who are going through breast cancer. You're also undergoing treatment yourself. I mean, you're a pretty special woman.
Thank you. Thank you.
Michael, did you expect Chantal to win?
Of course. There was no question about it at all.
Mum's won.
Yes, I know. It's been so hard keeping it. I think I was the first person to find out, so it's been hard, and she had no idea, which made it even more special. But yeah, really well deserved.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy this.
No, I will.
And many congratulations
Thank you.
from us all. And
thank you.
What do you think? Another cheer for Mum?
I feel quite emotional watching that. Such a special moment, wasn't it? Was it unanimous? Did you argue, or was she?
There were discussions. I mean, they were all very deserving, but yes, it was unanimous. Just brilliant.
She was absolutely brilliant. Well, Holly joins us now. Holly, what is going on with this weather?
I know. Well, unfortunately, it's been affected to an extent by Hurricane Ian, which unfortunately has been bringing horrendous conditions, hasn't it, over in Florida. We can take a look at what it's doing at the moment. It has moved out into the Atlantic, strengthened further. Now it's heading into South Carolina, bringing a big storm surge, winds of sort of 85 miles an hour sustained, really unfortunately. It's also, in a way, powering the jet stream, because as warm air surges northwards with that and colder air comes southwards from the Arctic, it strengthens the jet stream. That's bringing weather our way. Notoriously, when you get a hurricane in our forecasting models, it does tend to add a lot of uncertainty. So it's bringing the wet weather we're seeing at the moment. That's the feature you can see moving through there. So pretty wet for many of us at this stage. And then a lot of uncertainty for Sunday, and obviously have more detail about that in the weather forecast. But just thank goodness we're not, of course, seeing the awful conditions they're seeing across the Atlantic.
Yes, but it is a little bit unsettled. So let's get a check on that full forecast with the details. Here's Holly.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Well, our day is ending very differently to the way it started. We had, of course, at first that sunshine, bit of mist and fog, chilly start. Now wet and windy. Tomorrow sunny spells and showers, and then uncertain detail later on Saturday and into Sunday. This is the feature affecting us at the moment, but it's this trailing cold front that's creating problems with that uncertainty for the weekend. It's how far inland it comes that affects whether or not we see that rain. Certainly quite a bit of it out there at the moment, heavy, accompanied by strong winds, gusts of 55, even 60 miles an hour in exposure. As that clears through, we see starry skies developing, temperature shouldn't fall away too far, and it's a bright look as we head into tomorrow. But it is a bit of a blustery day, especially in and around any showers. Those showers fairly well dotted around though. I think a lot of the day dry, bright, and temperatures getting a shade higher than today as well. As I say, there's chance of some rain perhaps later Saturday into Sunday as well, but certainly low confidence at the moment. Really worth staying tuned to the forecast for that. A quiet start to the beginning of next week before turning more unsettled. Take care.
Valent sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Now, just before we go, it's time to say goodbye to our weather presenter, Holly, because Holly, you are off on maternity leave for a few months, and looking at you in side profile, I think it's time you need to put your feet up.
Do you think I look ready to go?
I think you look ready to pop.
But we do just want to, we're going to talk to you in a sec, but we do just want to play you a very brief message that we've had. Have a look at this.
Sorry to disappoint you, Holly, it's only me. I'm really, really sorry to miss your last day in the studio before you go on maternity leave. I just wanted to say the best of luck. Sorry I couldn't be with you. As you know, I've been filming today, but hopefully Matt and Stacey have got something special to wish you good luck. Lots of love, my darling, and see you soon.
Aww,
have you got it?
This is a little embarrassing, but I don't have anything. I thought you were supposed to get something.
You were supposed to get it.
Okay, fine.
Don't worry. We know a man who has.
We know a man who has something
Andrew,
for you.
here you are.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
How do you
guys,
feel,
that's so
Holly?
lovely. Thank you. Oh, and thank you to all our viewers as well, because a few of them have spotted the bump and
It's hard not to.
sent me some lovely messages as well.
Look,
Thank you so much, everyone.
huge luck.
So
we'll see
sweet.
you in a year
Good
or
luck,
so.
Holly.
That's it from us. Bye-bye.
Good night.